wanted it at her barn. And then come to find out, her agent had actually went from one agency to another and didn't tell her. And so she was kind of in between careers at the time. She'd been in accounting and litigation and was just kind of getting burnt out on it and thought, well, what the hell? I'll start an insurance agency and we'll do it right. Our goal isn't to be the biggest. Our goal is to kind of be the best. And I know that sounds kind of broad and silly, but we really have no aspirations to insure every horse in the country or insure, every barn. What we do want to do is make sure that the clients we have know what they're paying for and know what they need, so that if something does happen, it's covered. And you don't get a call from your insurance company going, well, sorry, we can't cover that because that's not in your policy because you didn't read it. So that's kind of our goal, is to make sure you have everything you need. And like I'm sitting here staring at that sign that says I can't afford it and I can't afford that, and that's what a lot of people say, and that's what they think is, I can't afford this much coverage or that. And frankly, it's not as expensive as probably a lot of people think it is. Little things like liability and making sure you're covered for camps, so that when customers bring friends and family to stay a day, camp at your horse show, or a barn show or a academy show at your barn, a lot of you probably don't think you need to have special coverage for that, and in fact you should, because if something would happen, and 9 times out of 10, most people, I feel like, aren't gonna sue you for something that happens, but that one person does. It costs you a lot of money. If you don't have the right coverages, it could just come out of your pocket instead of all this money you've been paying for years for insurance. So, and most people don't read. I'll admit I never did. Most people don't read their insurance policy. You don't realize how many things are written in there that says, this is covered, exclusions include, and then there are page after page after page of exclusions. And it's just the insurance company's way of they're not trying to screw people, but they're using every means necessary to get out of paying a claim if they can. And they're smart about it because they know most people don't read their policies. So, you're paying all this money, you need to make sure that you're getting what you pay for. So that was kind of Stacy's premise behind starting Equiday, was to make sure people understood what they were getting and really make sure everyone had what they needed to have, so that if something did happen, they were taken care of. So, but we do farm policies, we do obviously equine mortality policies. Really, we can do about anything. Anything with health insurance. We have no desire to get in that field. I don't think anybody that's in that field wants to be in that field either. But we built our business very slowly. We do horse show liability. Like I said, we pretty much cover, especially anything related to the horse industry. Recently, I have started working on a lot of farm policies for people, and realized a lot of people are very underinsured. And when you say that to them, the first thing they think is, oh my God, my premium's going to go up. And that's not necessarily the case. It just means maybe you need to make some changes here and there. You can, reduce one thing, increase another thing, just to make sure you're covered. And we've started working with, recently with Great American Insurance out of Cincinnati in Florida. And Great American is one of the top 2 insurance carriers in the country. They are the second oldest, have the highest rating. And we've struck a pretty good deal with them, and we've been working with them quite a bit lately, and been able to save. So far, I've worked on 5 farm policies the last few weeks, and I've gotten 4 of the 5 back, and I've saved people money and actually increased their insurance on 4 of the 5. So they're really working well with us. So anybody have any questions? Because that'll kind of.
I got lots of questions. Anybody got questions? Somebody else go. Go ahead. Yeah, go, Craig.
We just had an insurance policy where the company has denied us, but come find out they said our covered arena was actually way undersure than what they said it was going to cost to repair it. Why would insurance companies underinsure something when they know should research the logistics of how much it takes to build one? And we're talking not 10,000, we're talking
Well, honestly,
100,000.
that's your job. It's your job to go to them and say, this is what it's gonna cost to, this is what my building costs to build, this is what it'll cost to replace. It's not necessarily their job to come out and tell you that, is what I
Well, you
find.
can have replacement value on something, so that's what you have to make sure it's in the.
Right, you have to make sure of that. Like, for instance, anyone from Kentucky's probably saw this. A little over a year ago, last December, there was a thoroughbred farm in Lexington that burnt down. Guy lost 20 horses, 52 stall barn. And I know this story pretty well because it was a very good friend of mine. His name was Eric Reed. His insurance company, he actually had them come out and do an evaluation of his farm, and they set a price on what they thought the barn was worth. This was a couple years before it burnt down. Well, after it burnt down, he got a price on their building, $700,000 more than what the insurance company said the barn was worth. And he said, well, you guys came out and said it was only worth $1 million to rebuild. It's gonna cost $1.7 million to rebuild the exact same barn. And I said, well, yeah, we did, but you should have done it yourself. That's your job, not ours. We told you what we thought it was. We're not contractors, we're insurance agents. So he had to build a barn instead of 52 stalls, he had to build 30, because that's all he could afford to build. Because he didn't have an extra $700,000 sitting around.
What's the best way to do that? You get an appraisal?
Get an appraisal from someone that builds barns.
Every couple of years.
It's a good idea.
Craig, I had an issue. We had a roof collapse. Unfortunately, now the horses amazingly fell with the snow and fell literally in the hallway, killed a cat. So. What we did is, how old is your building?
We don't know. It was there before my wife
See,
bought
that's
it.
good. Mine too. The insurance company, what we did was, it has to be up to code. So whatever they say it's worth, so if they go to repair it, you need to find out what the code in your county, like, so they ended up having to give us more money. I ended up getting at a building that was 1979, and they ended up having to we had got all brand new electric in the facility, which was unbelievable heard of. Because it was just that one section, and most of the time people would have said, well, we can put some electric on there. Well, amazingly, one of my clients said, does that make it up to code? That guy's an electrician. He ended up putting the electric in my barn. But he went back with them, especially if you've got some age on the building, is just make sure that, because they might have to give you, that was, the legal law is they had to replace it, whatever it was insured for, they had to replace the repairs on it up to code. So not only did they have to fix it, but I got all brand new electric, which was just amazing. So that was kind of a strange twist on that. So that was just my electrician knew to kind of, somehow he knew that. So I don't know if that would affect you in any way on that. Because is it the coverall or is it your barn?
It's a coverall arena, and they came back and denied it, saying that, well, that's because it ended up being, our agent kind of like bids out who the insurance company would be
Right.
here. And they said, well, you weren't with us under this policy, so the old company is the one.
Are you using somebody there in Indiana, a local person as your insurance company?
It's actually.
Or are you using like a national company?
It's a national company. It's State Auto.
I got lucky on mine because it was going to be a couple $100,000. And then we ended up, I think we have one with MD barns. Don't you have an MD barn? Or like you have the metal, the kind of
Yeah, I
like
think so.
pieces put together because I see your pictures. But we ended up, it was MD barn people who just gave me a quote. I was just like, oh my gosh. And, but we did, I will tell everybody, we did use, not to enter what Billie's doing, and they are trying to do personal relationship. But I had moved into that barn in July, and it fell in like January, and they had to pay. I had been using the same insurance company until July, and then we switched, and it was a local person. They were real agreeable about it. I guess they didn't have any footing to stand on it, and they fixed it. And like I said, I got all brand new electric, which just thrilled me because that's the barn. That's the first thing that people talk about. So, but I don't know. What'd you ask, Sandra?
Insuring investment horses.
That was on my list. Good job.
That is something that the owners of the barn that I work at, we go back and forth on what's necessary. Is it market value that you purchased the horse? Is it what the horse is worth to your program? Who do you insure? Who do you not insure?
Does anybody else insure their lesson horses?
No.
Barbie? I know. You have one, but I mean, you all own it?
We're kinda
Like
with you
Faye
on
and
that
Jim
one.
own it, or? Oh, okay. Well, let's say this. A lesson horse that you own, not a client owns
Right.
that you can use.
Right, yeah, all of our lesson horses.
Well,
have
Barbie
their
Smith in
own
Louisiana.
customer owned.
You're
She
asking,
started
you wanna
that.
insure.
Barbie
one
insures
now.
all of her lesson horses
During
too.
Mardi Gras one year, we had a head Mardi Gras horse that passed away like right before Mardi Gras, and after that she insured because he wasn't covered and he colicked, and
She said it makes her sleep better at night, because then she can have colic surgery on them, or then she can
Yeah.
replace them, or whatever.
Right.
that she
But I
started
cannot
doing while I was
imagine.
there.
What do you remember, Elise? What she insured them for?
No,
Cassandra, I can't imagine on your. I mean, you got some nice horses.
Yeah,
That
I don't
Well, we
think.
had.
Well,
I mean, $1,000,
I mean, for
$5,000.
horses,
I mean,
even-
I'm not sure. I don't think she did mortality. I think it was just
like the
just
major medical.
like.
Can you
in
even
case
buy
something
just
like
major
that
medical,
happened.
Billy?
And then-
Yeah, I don't think it
I
can.
have to buy
Mortality.
The,
I don't-
like, the minimum policy that you can write, the minimum is $200. So if you insure a horse, I mean, for a premium is $200. So, and like like for a saddlebred, for example, the average percentage to insure a saddlebred right now with Great American, who we use a lot, is about 3%. Some companies are as low as 2.75, up to 3.2. So let's just say if you want to insure a $10,000 horse at 3%, that's $300 for the that you The minimum is $200. So if you insure a horse for $1,000, that should only be, $30 for the year, but you're still gonna have to pay $200.
How, now, Sandra,